welcome to another video on Valheim. As mentioned in my last video, this one is going to be focused on bases outside the Hussars village. In fact, I'm going to break it into two parts, with this first part being dedicated to my own base, Fishslap. So Fishslap was named in honour of the Monty Python sketch, the fish slapping dance, and it was the name that originally I gave to a remote outpost on the old Hussars server. As a result, I had a portal with that name on it in the roundhouse, so when it came to find a new location for a base, I decided to pick that one as the name. Having done that, I seem to have got a little bit carried away with it. The idea behind having this external base was that it would give me room to create the farming that I needed for the crops, the crafting areas, and also a hall that I could then use to display the trophies. I also wanted to have a separate storage area, because one of the things I'd learnt in the intervening 12 months was that the storage at the old roundhouse wasn't sufficient, and indeed on my own server I'd created a separate storage location. Just having a quick look at the map here, you can see this is Fishslap. It's L-shaped, meadows with trees at either end, and it's not actually that far away from the Hussars village, and you can see that there over the right hand side with the big bay. You can also see that just to the south of Fishslap you've got a landmass which is mostly black forest with a bit of meadows, and then further down there's mountains and plains. So I created, or wanted to create, several buildings here, not least of which was a portal hub, and this is that building. So when you go through the stave, this is where you will appear. The portal hub was originally just on one level, but as we explored further and found more areas of mistlands, we decided to set up portals there. So I ended up expanding it to have a first floor as well. And yes, that is a big fish. It was one that we found on the docks in the Hussars village. So as I walk up here, you can see I've got the various crops there. And on the right hand side behind the crops you can see the main building. Having decided that I needed more storage space, I was thinking about whether I could actually create a single building which had the Great Hall and the crafting and storage. But I didn't want to create the crafting and storage below ground level because of the limitations of the blueprint tool. This is the boar stone, as you can see, and this is my boar pen. Originally they were 1-star boars bred from one of the boars that was there when I first arrived here, and I have since replaced them with 2-star boars because I found another boar stone over on the mainland there with a 2-star boar there. I left it for ages because I wasn't sure what to do with it, but then eventually decided I'll use that to replace my stock. The bars you can see all the way around the boar pen is because I had a raid of bats which wiped out almost all of them, so they needed more protection. You can see the main building there. I came up with the idea of having the main reception room being the Great Hall above ground level, so that would mean I didn't need to dig down to get to the crafting and storage areas, and it meant that visitors would effectively walk up the steps to the Great Hall and that would be the main reception room. But actually that was effectively the first floor. So the ceiling of the crafting area would be the floor of the Great Hall. This is the chimney that goes up from the kitchen area below, and there is another hearth over at the other end to make sure that the fire comfort reaches every aspect of the building. Centerpiece is this long table, and as you can see I continued the idea of having shelving around the walls which contained all of the smaller trophies. Obviously the larger trophies are too big to fit in here, so they ended up being placed on the pillars and around the fireplaces, as you can see. And at the far end of the hall you've got the throne area, and you've got the trophies from the bosses. I also have these balconies on either side of the hall to give you a better view, and there's actually doors out here to a balcony looking outside. This area, as I said, it was mostly trees and this little wooded bit, and I decided to try and keep that. So that's the main trophy hall. One of the problems I noticed, having created the building as I did, is that the crafting and storage area felt a bit cramped and claustrophobic because I'd only made it 1.5 tiles high. So with given the choice of correcting that by either increasing the height of the ceiling or lowering the height of the floor, I decided to lower the height of the floor, which is why you've got these steps going down. This has seen a couple of revisions. The crafting area here originally stopped roughly where I am now, and then everything beyond that was storage. But with the new crafting stations that came out as part of the Mistlands update, I had to seriously revamp it because I couldn't think of a way to fit them all in. And one of the ways I revamped it was to use this storage system which I saw in a video where someone had used the black metal chests but enclosed them in this wooden shelving to hide the uglier aspects of the black metal chests but take use of their increased storage. So having adopted that, I was able to fit all of the storage down one wall, which then meant that I could expand the crafting area, as you can see over here, to include the new crafting stations, while retaining the kitchen to the right of me here. It even gave me room to increase the fermenters from 1 to 2. So yeah, I'm very happy with this area now because it feels wide and open and not cluttered. Out the other side you can see I've got these 2 portals here. One goes to the Plains Farm and the other one to the Mist Farm. And then this mostly wooded area with a stone path now going down to the end of the island, to this building that I created here, especially to house the Aeta refinery. This is necessary because the refinery, when processing, gives off dangerous particles that will kill you if you're not particularly healthy, and indeed has killed me in the past, and damage anything else they come in contact with, but they seem to be mostly blocked by black marble. When I built this I didn't have enough black marble to completely encase it, so I decided to build it at the end of the island and only build the black marble to stop any of the particles from heading back into the base and causing damage there. This was an island, so I was reluctant to build a bridge going across to the mainland. The reason I did originally was because, as I said, there was a borestone with a 2-star bore. So I decided, rather than using the raft there to ferry myself across to the mainland when I needed to go there, I built a footbridge that enabled me to cross over temporarily and use that to get the boar to chase me back so I could tame it here on Fishslap Island. The only problem with that, of course, is that you couldn't then sail down the channel because the footpath was blocking it. So having deconstructed the footpath, at a later point I decided I actually would build a bridge, which meant building something that was sufficiently high that you could sail a carve underneath it. And that's what you can see in the distance there. So that was Fishslap. I hope you enjoy it, and I will go into detail on some of the other locations in the next video. Goodbye for now.